first time I put on one of Mummy's Herm's scarves after she passed, I realized I became her. It was a gorgeous scarf, by the way, a medley of gold and scarlet and white. I remember admiring it on her slender neck when I was a child, and I wishing I could touch it. Now it was mine, and as I knotted it around my own neck and inhaled her expensive scent from the thick, soft fabric, I felt her spirit fill my body like one of those deep yoga breaths in the classes we sometimes took together, starting from the tip of our toes and filling us up all the way to the crown of our head. Well, she always took the classes. I sometimes tagged along. After the momentary shock, I felt comfortable. It was as if Mummy had never died. I looked at myself in the mirror, the glow of the fabric making me look so beautiful, just like Mummy used to look. I smiled and then went to find Jen. I hoped she would be less mad when she saw how I looked with the scarf. It was only fair that I take Mummy's clothes. I had her svelte figure, although it is hard work to maintain. Jen simply wouldn't put the work in, so I don't understand why she was always so bitter about us. Mummy and me. We invited her to come to classes too, but she never would. Anyway, we were always trying to celebrate her curves and be body positive. Dear Mummy kept up with the times. She was not a ghoul. Jen said we should sell the clothes on eBay and split the money. She would say something heartless and mercenary like that. What was she going to do with the money anyway? Buy chocolate cake. I packed all of her clothes. The Chanel suits, the Givenchy dresses, all beautifully kept. Jen was in the kitchen. Obviously, she was bent deep into the fridge, her ample behind the same width as the fridge door. The scene physically pained me. Jen, are you eating before dinner? I asked. She straightened up and whipped around. A bowl clattered from her pudgy hands. God, Samantha, she yelped. Then she looked closely at me and whispered, Mummy? I said nothing, just looked steadily at her. Her eyes flickered to the scarf knotted elegantly at my neck, just like Mummy used to knot it. That's Mummy's scarf, she stated. I sighed. I don't think there is any actual correlation between fatness and stupidity, but Jen's tendency to state the obvious made me often wonder. Jen continued, It's the scarf, isn't it? It's manifesting Mummy in you. I replied, Jen, have you done your workout today? She gasped. Then she said, almost pleadingly, Please let me try the scarf. I know I won't fit in her clothes, obviously, but I want to try the scarf. Maybe if she manifests in me, she'll stop bothering me about my weight. She'll understand what it's like to be me. Please don't touch my things, Jen, I said. Jen leapt towards me with a cry. There was no contest. I am a slim, delicate woman, like Mummy, and she is not. In less than a minute, I was on the floor, winded, while Jen ripped the scarf off my neck. She raised her arms and began knotting it around hers. I felt Mummy leaving me, like a yoga breath held too long. I reached out to Jen from where I lay on the kitchen floor. Jen's attack seemed to have paralyzed me. I felt incapable of getting up, and fear filled the emptiness left behind by Mummy in my soul, weighing me down. Jen, don't do it. She won't like you touching her stuff, please, I cried. It was too late. She was pulling the gleaming scarlet silk against her neck, tighter and tighter. I screamed as I saw Mummy in her eyes, widening with disgust and horror at inhabiting the fat body of her loathed daughter. No, Mummy, I cried. Then Jen's eyes began bulging as she pulled even tighter on the scarf. No, Jen, stop, Mummy, I pleaded. I was scared of Mummy, but still, I scrabbled like a turtle on its back, trying to get up. You have to believe me, I did try to help her. We are not ghouls, but the fear kept pressing me back down on the floor. It was over in 2 minutes. Jen drew in her last ragged breath, completely unlike the healing yoga breaths Mummy, and I used to draw together and then slumped on the floor, falling sideways next to me. I stared into her blue, distorted face. The scarf had vanished into the rolls of her neck. The weight seemed to lift off me. Slowly, I rose to my feet quite flexibly too, thanks to Mummy letting me join in on her classes sometimes. I didn't touch Jen. I wanted to see if Mummy would manifest in me. If I wore one of her other scarves, there was one with galloping fiery horses that I also loved very much. I left the kitchen, reminding myself to call the police later. The police found Jen on the kitchen floor. They couldn't pin it on me. Why should they? We were loving sisters, and the death of our beloved Mummy had been hard to bear. Jen had been mentally unstable. Strangling yourself is not common, but not unheard of either, and Mummy had been very smart in how she managed it. These days I live alone. I don't feel lonely though. Mommy is with me, and whenever I miss her too much, I simply knot one of her incredible silk scarves, which still smell as if she just sprayed them, around my neck. I have not lost my figure either, and I put on a suit or a dress of hers, and I feel her heart beat within me, strong and powerful as ever.